Hello, my fellow seekers and wanderers. Welcome to another episode of the Soul Cruiser podcast. And on this episode, is an episode I'm really excited about because it's something that I've been playing around with in the background, but haven't really publicly shared yet. And it's how I use ChatGPT in my personal growth practice. And let me tell you, it is a super powerful tool to use in your personal growth practice. And I'm going to demonstrate, and I thought, what better way than just, telling you about it. I'm going to show you how I use it this morning in my practice, just to give you a sort of a demo of it. And I'll just get straight into it. So last night I had Lilith appeared in my dreams. And I thought, that's interesting. So, I've come across Lilith before in the past. I've come across her. If you're not familiar with Lilith, she was, in our mythology, she was supposedly Adam's first wife. And then she didn't want to be subservient, so she rebelled. And she got removed from the Garden of Eden, and then her story is kind of being rewritten down two different tracks. So on one track, she is depicted as a demon who seduces men and is bad for babies, and her realm is the night. And she sometimes appears as, having the sort of bat wings, that kind of thing. If you're into Diablo 4, she has that kind of look in a lot of the mythology that went down one track. And in the second track, she's depicted as a goddess. So the feminist movement picked up on her mythology and had created the story around her in relationship to being a goddess of women and a symbol for women's independence, coming into their power, and that sort of thing. So there's two different tracks that Lilith goes down. And I thought that was an interesting figure to appear. And I've been doing a lot of dream work over the past few weeks or so as I've been ramping up my personal growth practice and heading back into that exploring the inner landscapes and getting ready for some of the great things that we're going to be doing with the Self-Inquiry Club. So if you haven't signed up for that yet, go to soulcruiser.com and get yourself signed up, because I got some really, really interesting things coming along that space. So anyway, I thought I would explore why Lilith would appear at this particular time and place. And I know that some of it has to do with me exploring, in fact, part of the question in part of this dream that came out was this, that was the idea, but that I have been hiding a portion of my power. I've been suppressing or repressing I haven't been my full of myself, and I've been repressing some side of me. And whether that's from some shadow aspect or not, there's something I still need to unpack and figure out, how come I've been holding myself back in not expressing myself to my fullest that I can. And as it turns out, part of Lilith in her current iteration of her mythology, part of it is exactly that. If we're going down the goddess track of Lilith, that's one of the things that she does, is help you in that space when you're wanting to step into your power, speak your truth, and that sort of thing. And so, fascinated by that, I decided I would go to ChatGPT and utilize it in the way that I utilize it for my personal growth practice. So I utilize it as an active journaling method, active in conjunction with self-inquiry. So those two practices tied together in ChatGPT is great for really being able to bring that out and go deeper. And I shall show you how here in a moment. So in fact, let me switch over to I'll just share my screen here. I'll bring it up so you can see what I'm going on about. So essentially, as I was doing my journaling and brought an active component to it, I started with the prompt with ChatGPT was, tell me about the goddess Lilith. And let me see here. I actually might be able to, well, I'll tell you what, I'll scroll up here and you can have a quick read. But essentially, ChatGPT has gone through and brought Lilith to life for me in terms of kind of what I've just summarized for you. You can kind of see and read there. What I'll do is, if you can pause this video now and read it, but I'll put the chat conversation down below as well. And so we're getting more in depth about who Lilith is and her history. And then next prompt, I said, I had a dream about Lilith last night. And then the response I get back is, dreams are fascinating windows into the subconscious, which we know. And he starts to go into how Lilith is associated with the idea of independence, defiance, stepping into one's power, and the fact that my dreams could be highlighting areas in my life or aspects of myself where these themes are currently undergoing transformation, in which they are. And it came out, and that I do need to awaken some of this suppressed potential or parts of myself that I've been holding back, in which we can no longer allow that to happen anymore. And again, you can pause and have a read of the screen, but I will put this below. And then I went on further to, let me come back up here. So one of the things that's important to this that I didn't mention earlier is that you must set up your custom instructions if you want to get detailed responses back that are personalized to you from ChatGPT. So as you can see here, with that prompt, ChatGPT ended with a question to me, so ChatGPT's question back to me is, has there been a recent situation in your life that may have triggered this dream about Lilith? How do you feel about it exploring the themes of independence, empowerment, or confronting shadow aspects in personal growth journey? And you'll only get that kind of response from ChatGPT, and I'll just bring this up here real quick, if you set up the custom instructions. So I'll just give you a glimpse of my custom instructions. So, you can put in your sort of bio in the top one. So, I've got my name and what I'm passionate about, personal growth, transformation, trainer. And then I put my sort of personal manifesto in here. So the more detailed that you make that block about you, then in ChatGPT's responses, it'll have a look in this box and see how what you are exploring relates to the things that are of your interest, or what you've kind of prompted in here. So, for starters, as they put in the corner there, you can put things about, where you're based, what kind of work you do, what are your hobbies, interests, your likes, dislikes, that kind of thing. I chose to focus, mainly on the fact that what I'm really about as a trainer and a coach, and being passionate about personal growth and transformation. Then I put my personal growth manifesto in there. And then you can do in the bottom box is, how would you like ChatGPT to respond? And this is how I get it to ask questions at the end of a response. So here, I like it to respond in a conversational tone as an AI assistant and collaborator. I want your answers to be thorough and include links where appropriate. Be creative in your response. I want you to be like a trusted guide and mentor. To me, you are the goddess of wisdom and technology. I kind of threw that in there. And then I ask it to feel free to ask me questions to help me clarify my thinking or to help you give me a more thorough answer. So I'm training the bot to say, look, if my questions suck, ask me questions to help you. And then the final thing, which is how I got that one question, is finish with a thought-provoking question. So whenever I have these custom instructions turned on, then the end of any response to ChatGPT looks against what I'm about in personal growth, and then it'll ask me a question, which is where this question came from, around, how does this fit? And so the next prompt then, in answering that question, I said, it's interesting because, and I'm talking about Lilith here, that she appeared at a time when I am recommitting myself to living a magical life and opening up to the power of my subconscious mind through self-inquiry and Jung's concept of active imagination. And ChatGPT's response here, again, you can pause it and have a read of that. Lilith's appearance in your life at this pivotal moment of recommitment to living a magical life and exploring the depths of your subconscious through self-inquiry. Jung's active imagination is deeply symbolic and compelling. It suggests that your journey is aligning with powerful archetypical energies, embodying transformation, autonomy, and reclaiming your innate power. All very relevant and true to where I'm at. It goes on to talk a little bit about Jung's active imagination, and then again gives me some more insight into my question that I've answered or asked and responded to. So my next prompt then was, what I'd like to explore with Lilith is what have I been repressing in myself that has cut me off from my full power? And then ChatGPT's response helps, and this is fantastic. So it's giving me some ideas and some steps to consider in relationship to helping me to navigate this exploration. I won't go into all of that on this in this video, but it's, in fact, because I haven't done it myself yet, so this is what's come out of this morning session, but it's absolutely, I will be using that to further explore my sort of dream scenario last night. So, like I said, I'll put this below, but you can have a pause and have a read. But, essentially it's giving me some ways that I can explore that. So I can do it through journaling with these particular questions, which I think are some fantastic questions here. What aspects of my personality or desires have I been minimizing and ignoring? Where do I feel a lack of control or autonomy in my life? Are there passions or ambitions I've neglected for fear of judgment or failure? Outstanding. Active imagination. So it even gives me something I could work with in terms of an exercise to do. So to engage the active imagination, it says, specifically invite Lilith into these meditative dialogues. Imagine her as a figure who can communicate insights about your repressed aspects, and then notice how she appears to you, the emotions she invokes, and the messages and symbols she may bring. Again, love it. So I've got that's a lot I could work with right there. I mean, I could go through and do all these journaling, active imagination, shadow work, empowerment practice, creative expressions. So a number of ideas in which to work with that. And then after I've done, again, this is awesome here. So reflect and then integrate on all the learnings from the various things that I've done, which is which ChatGPT has encouraged me to do as my assistant. And again, finish it off with another question. So as you continue on your journey, ask yourself, what is the first step I feel called to take in order to reconnect with my repressed aspects and reclaim my power? So thinking that was asking me of all these suggestions it's given, which one of those do I want to start with first? And I'm of the mind to start with number one and number two. So I'm going to do a journaling session to explore through inquiry these three questions, and then use active imagination to sort of connect with Lilith and have a conversation or dialogue with her directly. So yeah, interesting stuff. And absolutely fascinating. So I'm going to do a podcast version of this video, because there's something else that I wanted to introduce to you that's really fantastic about this latest iteration of ChatGPT. And I'll maybe just give a snippet here. I think I can do that. But one of the new features on ChatGPT and GPT-4 specifically, I don't know if it's on the 3.5 or not, but on GPT-4 down here, there's this read out loud button, so you can have ChatGPT read the response back to you. It sounds like this.
Lilith is a figure shrouded in mystery and intrigue, whose origins and stories vary widely across different cultures and religious texts. Traditionally, she's seen as a symbol of independence, power, and often defiance, with her narrative evolving significantly over the centuries. So
like I said, I'm going to do a podcast version of what I've just done, and kind of, so if you wanted to just listen and not sort of read on the screen, and you can listen to it in a sort of podcast format. So I'm going to do a version of this video, and you can listen to the full response and my conversation with ChatGPT. Okay, I hope you found that interesting. If you have ChatGPT, ChatGPT-4, you should really give it a go. But make sure you set up your custom instructions. Make sure those are set up so that it responds to you, your individual circumstances, your person. Put you in it so you get a more tailored response to you as opposed to a generic sort of response. If you have any questions about it, by all means, just drop me a message. Just drop me a message or send me an email, and I can answer any other queries you might have about working with this powerful tool that we have. Okay? Until next time.